guys, welcome back. Hope you had a good week, good month. It's May 30th. We're going to review some zero-day options. I traded today on SPY, trying to get the small account challenge kicking off. Yeah, Friday. A lot of times we get chopped on Friday, but we actually got some good moves today. Just like yesterday, we had some actual good moves compared to earlier in this shortened week. On the 30-minute longer time frame, we are doing kind of an inverse cup and handle, inverse head and shoulder. And I've been waiting for this breakout for a long time. It'll probably give it in the last couple minutes or maybe even after hours. We'll see. This is Eric at SPY Day Trading. Link for his Discord's in the description. Yeah, here's a 30-minute chart. So today we made this inverse head, which I'll show you the trades I did on there, and grinded back up and started grabbing this liquidity, this shoulder, and that's where we are here. Now we're breaking this resistance, which has been a pretty big one, as well as this magenta. So given that at the end of the month, end of the day, this move might not happen until it might just gap up on Monday, or we might get a continuation of this on Monday. We'll see. But this was finally, we had a move. So we were waiting to kind of get out of this consolidation liquidity building range, and it seems like it did. So we'll see how we go. I showed up today a little late again, 10 o'clock. Where are we? Yeah, was it 10? I can't remember exactly. Started charting, got a purple charted in here, this red one. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. A long day sometimes if you're at the computer the whole time. I did chart in this gold after it made this wick up here. Mine was a little bit different based on some resistance down here. I can't remember, but I adjusted it after that happened, which then lined up perfectly, or almost perfectly, with this, which will give you a clue to my trade. So made a nice little inverse head and shoulder here, which I wasn't around for. I came in right about here, and then it came up, started building liquidity. And let's see. Yep, gold. So I put the gold one in for support off of that resistance. And I was just looking for the wedge, basically. My bias was somewhat bullish because it made its inverse head and shoulder. We're higher, I guess, but not really, actually. Now I look at it, I don't know why my bias was that bullish. Oh yeah, because 5-day also, forgot. Here's 5-day right here, this gold line. So this was lower. So basically like an inverse head and shoulder, bounced on 5-day. And we did still have that resistance on the longer time frame. But yeah, I thought there could be some more move up. Anyways, just real choppy, grindy for a while. Charted this white one, and let me just tell you where I took my trades so you can understand what's going on. I wanted to kind of do one and done today. Being a Friday, typically end of day kind of sucks on Friday, or even the whole day on Friday kind of sucks usually. So trying to be careful. Wow, Etsy 4.5%. Okay. 1122. I got calls. So I got 5 of them. I did full port on the small account. 5 at 1122. So basically, we got gold for the resistance here, and put it in here, and it bounced almost perfectly there. You have a nice shoulder here for liquidity. I'm thinking this is either going to retrace for bears to bring it down further, or this is the bottom in an inverse head for bulls to grab the shoulder and break out of this upper channel, which at that point wasn't there, this green one. Or yeah, it was, because I got it from right here. That's where I do that green one from. So I knew my upside. I knew it was limited. I knew it could be just to the top of this wedge. Here's the bottom of it, gold, the top's green. However, I'm set up for a bigger, since I have more than one, I can do, I can just have exposure for bigger stuff. So 1124, where are we? Or no, 1122. So yeah, got it right here, right there. On the beginning of that candle, actually. It wasn't after it broke the gray. Sometimes I'd wait, but I really wanted to try and catch it, because this was my stop, this gold. So started to show that it's going to actually respect it, and then thought it was this candle, but yeah, I guess it was on the beginning of this candle. So I got 5 calls there. These are like 30 delta or something. They were 591s, and I was at 588, so whatever delta that is. Here's 591 up here. Sold the first one pretty quickly, so I got them for 52 cents. I'll just show you guys here. Yep, we're green. Got them for 52 cents. Sold the first one for same candle. So that shows you that I got it pretty low on that candle, and it bumped up. And that first profit is hard to just hold for very long, especially when I'm kind of doing a wedge trade or mutual interest trade. So, because you don't know, it doesn't have to bounce all the way back up to the top of the channel. It can just do this and then flush. You can be making a little micro head and shoulder right here. So anyways, I just knew this was a good support and a good stop, so might as well take it from there. And took the second profit. It was 61 cents at 11.26, so held through this a little bit, and then 26. So took it there. This one I should have waited on. I should have been more patient at this point. I was grabbing the shoulder. It was just far enough from the red line that if it did flush, that would probably be my stop out or take profit. And by that point, it's pretty far from it because I didn't have a steeper buying channel. So I guess that's kind of the theory behind that. And big green candles are pretty big relatively at that point. I want to take profit. And then I don't know what the percentage is here. It's pretty small. I mean, it's a tight range at this point. 27. So 11.27 took another one. So nice to have 5 of them. That was 63 cents. So yeah, then on that candle, which to me is enough of a touch on the green. And actually, okay, now I remember, this green was actually lower. I adjusted it after this hit, then I refined it. It was probably more like this, because this was basically the top, and then it kind of broke out of it, which will explain why I was thinking about going long there. But yeah, so after it did that, took profit, 11.26, 11.27. So oh, that's what it was. At that point, I thought it had kind of broken out. 11.27 took one, 11.29 took one at 68 cents. So yeah, on this candle, a kind of reversal candle, I don't know where on it. That was 68 cents, and then I left one as a runner in case we do break to the upside. It's not many to leave, but yeah, that's what I did. And that one was a break even at 11.32. So I was actually thinking if it breaks this red at this point, I'll just cut it. I don't need to leave a runner. And maybe that wouldn't have been a good idea, because if it broke it and then ripped, I would have been upset, but not upset. But anyways, this went too quick and I couldn't close it, and it just basically got to my break even almost quite quickly. So that one stopped me out for break even. So green on that, up 42 bucks, which is I don't know, some percentage of 280 or so. And biggest percentage on that tiny little trade from here to there, 52 cents to 68 cents. Probably put that in the thumbnail also. So just small, but you don't need, 10, 15, 20%. Like with scale, that's crazy. So that was small account. And then I was like, happy, it's a Friday, I'm green. Very unusual for that to happen. So, and I didn't have more buying power. So I'm like, great. Stuck around for the big account in case something did present itself. And sure enough, it did. So we won't review all the trades on the big account today, but I shared some screenshots on Discord, on our Discord, which you can see. It wasn't anything super crazy like yesterday. It was 400 something percent. I think it was like 100 something, my biggest one today. 100%. It was like, what was it? Yeah. I'm not gonna go over all the times. I'll just give you kind of a little rundown. Okay, so we're in a wedge here. So bounce on the bottom, rejected the top. So realistically, I could be getting puts here also. I didn't get them there because, yeah, I was still trading my small account and not really thinking about the big account. But seeing that it's starting to reject here, that would have been great. Also, my line was a little different then, so I wasn't too sure. Anyways, nice rejection. I got into puts, I think a break on this gold, yeah. I think my first puts were on the break of this gold. Very choppy, grindy down to low, or down to 5-day, which was kind of completing that first inverse cup. And I did take profits through there. Can't quite, I overtraded this range a little bit too much. I kept breaking different channels, but if you see, there's still a wedge here, this green and this gold. So can't remember quite what I was. Yeah, I overtraded at some point in there. I kind of want to just look at the trades. I did I did another actually nice entry in here. Okay, I got in. Yeah, I got in on this red right here, and then I got a little skittish. I got in on the break of this red. So basically it had played this inverse cup, broke out of the gold, so it's even retesting it on the resistance up here, as you see. And so I was just looking, I was hoping it was going to come all the way up to green so I could get puts up here, but it doesn't always retrace all the way. Like I said back here, it doesn't always do that. So then I'm looking forward to make structure, which you have a shoulder here and a head, and then I'm trying to see it break a channel. Broke this one, I got puts in here. I actually stopped out of them because I was just like, I wasn't too confident with this one. I didn't want to rip up here. I really wanted that whole move. It came down and I was like, oh man, I think I got puts actually here then. Yeah, I did. So I got back in here and little profits in here. And then I was totally out of it. I didn't leave one runner for whatever reason, I'm not sure. But then right in here, actually, I got more. So this was kind of an intuition. It was a risky trade, but kind of an intuition trade. At that point, 5-day was right here. So this had just broken 5-day. And it was just actually building some liquidity right underneath it. So I'm thinking, I don't know, I'm thinking 5 days of resistance. I can get this and kind of use 5 days of stop. I'm also thinking it might not make a handle. And so, yeah, I got in. This was that trade that had that percentage I just showed you. It was like 100-some%. So risky entry, but kind of an intuitive one. I had a feeling it was coming down. Like, I don't know. Yeah, for all these other reasons I mentioned up here, I was just looking for good entries and with tight stops. This kind of was one, but yeah. Anyways, flushed. Took profit on this first candle. Took profit on that one. I had 3 of them. Actually, took profit on this one. And look, what do you know? Bottom of green. Didn't quite hit it perfectly, but this first candle literally just flushed right to green. I was like, that's my take profit right there. So I took one like somewhere in here, and then took my last one right here. I didn't leave a runner because I was like, this is a great move. And this is at the bottom of the green, which is resistance up here and support down here. And so it was fully out right there. So didn't get that last little bit, but no problem. That trade was nice. Probably over traded after that, which is kind of the case, middle of the day. And what I was thinking today, I'm like, I wish I had futures unlocked. I don't have it on my small account anymore, and the big account, I don't know, I can't do it on there. But anyways, yeah, so this makes its move. And I'm looking, like bounce trades, retracements are a little sketchy for me, but with futures, I would have been happy to do it. And as you can see right here, I just duplicated the gold, and we have a bounce right on that. So I would have taken a futures trade right here just because you don't know how slow it's going to come up, and then have an easy stop on this gold. So even if it slowly grinds up, your futures are just going to gain value. You could take calls here, but you really don't know if it's going to do anything like this, or if it's just going to chop and grind and data burn them. And then later in the day, so I didn't trade anything in here, thankfully. And then it broke my green. Oh, this was actually annoying. So yeah, the biggest resistance here is this green. And you also, if you see it in a structure form, this is your head, here's your shoulder. So this is grabbing the shoulder over here. You also have a cup right here. So yeah, anyways, it was sitting here, and I'm thinking I actually overtraded in this area right here. So I think I got puts because it's at the resistance top of the wedge, and at this point I am bearish for sure, just because on what's going on. But I knew, you know, this could get flipped over to bullish. And sure enough, I think I like chopped in and out here a couple times, unfortunately. Like, why'd you do that? How'd you do that? But a little different. It's a little different in real time. And then this was a news candle that was breaking my resistance where I would have gotten calls, unfortunately. And not FOMO, but yeah. Anyways, I got in like on this candle, and I just got the most disgusting fill. A lot of volume. It's everything you want to see on a breakout. It's probably, you know, it's usually a stop trigger. I didn't realize there was news. So anyways, stopped out of those thankfully pretty stopped out of one, like closed it to reduce risk, and then I stopped out of the rest on that candle once it broke this red buying channel. So that was a bummer. But then duplicated my green because now I'm seeing that is bulls building liquidity. And I think I got back in here. Yeah, I did. Back in here. Oh yeah, this one was the wick that got me. Back in here, this wick I stopped out on. I should have waited for candles to close. I always do that. least that's what I'm always trying to do. And I have been really good about that. But stopped out there, came up here, closed there, and I got back in. Because I'm like, all right, I'm an idiot. So got calls for that move there to high day. Couple's completed. So looking for a handle based on green, white, and yeah. I mean, green's the major last one. White and purple are more aggressive. So made a little handle here. You have a little head and shoulder. I can't remember where. I was kind of hoping for an end of day squeeze, but I traded quite a bit in this chop. Some good, some bad. I think overall, I don't know, pretty even on this area. But I'm pretty sure I got calls on this white break right here. And then maybe again on the green. Yeah, I'm not even reviewing here, but basically it ended up just nice moves, but it ended up just chopping into close, which happens on a Friday. And yeah, end of the month, not bad. It's funny, like I feel like I've done well the last couple days, and then but that happens every now and then. I'm just like, oh, I feel like I figured it out, or I'm doing better. I got it. Like, oh, this is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm gonna do. And then, sure enough, it's like I wreck myself. So I think part of that though is, yes, this works, and if I do it right, it works great. But the market's not always setting up good plays like this, and I have to just know when not to trade, because most of the time is not trading. So learning to trade at any environment is good, but then knowing what environment it is for you to apply the right tool for that environment. Yeah, so days like this, I feel like I can trade pretty well. Super grindy liquidity building days, like without selling premium, I'd just get screwed over. So hopefully we have more days like this, even though it was small and there wasn't much continuation. Actually, it wasn't that small. What's the range? 583 to 591. Yeah, 8 points, so pretty large actually overall. A nice trade would have been this bounce trade, but again, I knew it's just a big wedge, and without futures. I mean, I could also sell puts here. Then my account's set up for that right now. I've done it on paper, which is super nice. I love doing that, but yeah. Once the account grows, I'll unlock futures on it, and then yeah, we'll get to selling puts. Thanks for watching, guys. Sub up, like up, comment down. Happy money sticks around. See you on Discord. Have a good weekend. Peace out.